מעולה. אין אפס. אבל זה כיף שאת גם נמצאת ליאורה.
איפה אנילה?
אנילה אמרה שהיא קצת תאחר למפגשים הקרובים בדקה-שתיים, אבל זה בסדר, כי זה זמן טוב לתת כמה הודעות. רגע, אני רק אחליש את עצמי, שלא אשמע את עצמי כפול בהקלטה.
היי דנילה.
שלום לכולן ולכולם, איזה כיף שאנחנו ממשיכים במפגשים האלה. אותי זה מאוד מאוד משמח, גם שהקורונה תמה לה בישראל, אני מבינה שפחות במקומות אחרים, זה כיף שיש לנו את העוגן השבועי הזה, ממש עוגן מבחינתי. אז כמה הודעות שכבר שמעתם כנראה הרבה פעמים, אני אעשה אותן בקצרה עד שאנילה תצטרף אלינו. כל המפגשים של אנילה מוקלטים ונמצאים בערוץ היוטיוב של ידידי הדרמה, שאפשר להגיע אליו דרך סמל היוטיוב שנמצא בראש דף הבית של אתר ידידי הדרמה. זו בקשה ככה מהמורים, מי שיכול להדליק את המצלמה אצלו, זה יהיה הרבה יותר נעים. טקסטים נלווים לשיעור אפשר למצוא גם בעמוד של אנילה באתר של ידידי הדרמה, יש שם את הפרק על הסבלנות באורח חיי הבודיסטווה וגם פרשנויות למי שרוצה לקרוא בין לבין השיעורים. ומי שמעוניין לתת דנה בתמורה לדרמה היקרה הזו שאנחנו זוכים לה כאן בהתנדבות, אז אפשר למצוא באותו הדף של אנילה קישור לפייפל או פרטי העברה בנקאית לעמותת ידידי הדרמה. וזהו, שיהיה לימוד מועיל ומעניין ומעשיר. אני חושבת שאנילה עוד לא התחברה, אז אפשר קצת לקשקש עד שהיא תצטרף אלינו.
אפשר לשאול שאלה?
בטח.
את אומרת דרך, התשלום הוא דרך כל מורה או משהו כללי לידידי הדרמה?
התשלום...
דנה, אנחנו מעדיפים לקרוא לזה דנה.
סליחה. כן.
וכרגע יש תשלום אחד, אבל אנחנו מחלקים את זה לפי המורים.
זאת אומרת שהדנה שאני מעבירה היא דרך, נגיד, אני לוסנג, אז זה הולך אליה או שזה?
זה ילך אליה, זה כרגע יש קופה אחת של אני לוסנג וגשמה, ואנחנו, את כל הכסף שנתרם יעבור לשתיהן.
אוקיי, אז זה לא משנה איך מעבירים.
לא משנה.
יופי, תודה.
היי ברונו. Bruno doesn't speak Hebrew. He's only a student, and he participated one day in one of our retreats in Israel. And now he's on the phone. הנה אנילה.
Hello. Good evening.
היי אנילה.
How is everybody? I can see it's hot. Oh. Ay. Okay.
I already finished with all of my things, so you can start.
We can start. So you did all of your things. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So how about we start with some coming here, arriving at this place, arriving in the body. Are you happy with this or are you already present? Totally. Are you present or not quite? Anyway, it's really good to do because especially when we talk about, you know, patience, and because it has to do also with anger, and then we start to be how to say, it can be really difficult because we start to get angry at the anger. And if you don't have any tools how to calm ourselves down, because I don't know if the lady is here who said it last time, because she said, well, when she is angry, she just goes out and screams. I mean, this is a method, but that's not really what we want to develop. We want to develop a mind that is attentive, a mind that is neutral, who is like the observer, and then can see what's going on, and also who has the strength and the ability to take the attention away from the object. Last week, we talked about inappropriate attention, that we leave the mind, we leave the attention on the object of our anger or frustration. And then, instead of calming down, it does exactly the opposite. So these are all things that you need to train. So just sitting and having one object and putting the mind there, which that will help you a lot then if you really want to make some progress and if you want to transform your mind. So it is essential. Just knowing it intellectually is a nice thing, and I do admit, and this is the first step, but it's not really, it's not enough for us to transform. And also when we do these kind of awareness meditations, or any meditation, what we call meditation. Actually, the word meditation I think in Sanskrit, it's called bhavana. It just means training, means practice, that's all. In Tibetan, it means gom. I don't speak Tibetan, but I know a few words. So it means gom gyap, like making the mind familiar with something, okay? So in this case, when we talk about anger, as we started the text where he really starts to talk about the disadvantage of anger, so that's what we make the mind familiar with. We make the mind familiar with the disadvantages of anger. But of course, if you, on one hand, you see maybe some truth in what Shantideva says, but your settings are still set on, but I need my anger, and or okay, this occasion I won't be angry, but that occasion is right to be angry. So then you get all confused. I mean, our mind is already confused enough because we never really sit down. I mean, if you do, then that's fine. I talk about we because I include myself also, but it's quite rare that we really sit down, especially when we're not feeling so well, and in a very, very quiet and deep and loving and attentive way, we ask ourselves, but what do I really want? We have all these automatic pilots that we have developed over, I'm talking Buddhist now, okay, over lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And because they are so automatic and because they are so instinctive, we think that they are true, or we think that they're natural. We think that, well, I have to react like this because that's me, yeah? And so we just follow them and we never really check. Is this what I want? Is this what I'm striving for? So this text that Shantideva is giving us, or let's say he talks to himself because he wants to go on the Bodhisattva path, meaning he wants to be somebody who can be of real benefit to all sentient beings. So if you don't want that and you study the text, then you get even more confused and in a subtle way. Yeah, so we need to be quite clear. Like, for example, on one hand, we want to be generous, okay? Who wants to be generous? You can hold up your hands and then maybe I can see. Okay, not everybody, okay. We want to be generous because it's a nice thing to be generous. We like to be generous. But then when we have an occasion to give, we don't give. Yeah, on the other hand, we want to be ethical, so we don't want to create any negative karma. But then again, on the other hand, if it's kind of convenient not to tell the truth, then it comes very quickly not to tell the full truth, at least for me. I don't know how it is with you guys. Yeah. Then on the other hand, we want to be loving. But then we just follow our attachment, and we just love when kind of this affection for somebody comes naturally. And that's very dangerous, because the moment they don't fulfill our expectations anymore, then that's finished with the love. Yeah. So it's no wonder that we are quite confused, because on one hand, we have this deep wish to be a good person, a good human, a mensch, I think you say in Hebrew, isn't it? Okay, says it all. Yeah, in German, we use mensch just for human being, but when we use the adjective menschlich, then it is used for good qualities, good human qualities. But when we use the word mensch, if you come to Switzerland, you tell somebody, oh, he's such a mensch, then they go like, yeah, of course he's a mensch. What are you talking about? Because it just means human in German. But the adjective means really like the human qualities, okay? So I think we all want that. I hope so. Otherwise, why would you listen to me? There's no point. It's total waste of time. Yeah. But then on the other hand, when we do have the occasion to be it, then the ego kicks in again. And there's all this fear, well, oh, what will happen? Maybe if I'm very, very generous, I give too much. Or, oh, if I tell the whole truth now, then there will be a problem in the future, or whatever. Or if I don't follow my desire now, I will die, things like that. This is, so this is what we do. So it's quite good to become quite clear about what we want. And this is what we're going to do now in the short reflection, okay? So first we do some just coming in the body, just being present. And then I will guide you a little bit through this about asking yourself, what do I really want? And then the next question, of course, is how to get it. Okay, so try to settle down, comfortable, but if possible with a straight back. You see, when I say comfortable, I do this with school classes. When I tell the kids, try to sit comfortable, or try to just feel comfortable, or sit comfortable, everybody starts to lie down. They go like this or like that. But then if you would have to stay like this for 20 minutes only, you would have aches and pains everywhere. So it just feels comfortable at the beginning, but it's not. So when one says try to feel comfortable, you mean relaxed but awake, and that means with a straight back. So if you can not lean against something, so you see, the best is you just go and sit in the middle of your room. So then there is there's no danger that you're going to lean against the wall. Yeah, if I see like here in Switzerland is great, because the Gompa, nowhere you can lean against the wall, because the tankas are coming down, or there's the window, or here's cupboards and here's the table. So it's like, but if I look like when we were in Yechiam, always the places along the wall were the first ones to be covered. It is comfortable, but it's not helpful. This is the thing. And you can train your mind, especially if you're not that old yet. I mean, if you're over 85, I would say, okay, it's too late. Yeah. But if you're younger than that, you can still train the body to strengthen the muscles to keep the back straight. And yeah, of course, there will be pains when you sit at the beginning, but also you get used to it. Also, very often people kind of complain that they fall asleep while they are trying to meditate. It's a sign that you are tired. Yeah. But if you meditate regularly, this habit of nodding off, all of a sudden it disappears. I haven't been falling asleep, even when I meditate alone, because this would happen to me when I was meditating alone, not when I'm sitting in front of a group, luckily. But I would nod off sometimes. But as you kind of strengthen your meditation practice, your awareness practice, the mind becomes lighter and is not so heavy. And also you have more energy. Even you sleep less sometimes. Yeah, so it has a lot of advantages. I mean, if you listen to all these mindfulness groups, all the advantages that it has just to sit down and just to watch your breath, I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, but The problem is you have to do it. Yeah, and you have to invest time. This is the thing. Yeah, and not just once a year when you go into a 10-day retreat. I mean, it's better than nothing. Or a weekend, or when somebody is there to lead the meditation, but to really, same as you brush your teeth in the morning, to sit down and maybe start with 3 minutes every day, but then, you know, try to expand. Yeah. Then when you have time, you go into a retreat when you are in a group. So this is very, and then you will feel that it has effect, and then the enthusiasm will come, and then it's not so difficult anymore or so heavy. But you see, if you only do short bits and pieces here and there, then there's no result in a way. We shouldn't meditate because we want a result, but still it's good to have some results from time to time. Yeah, but the results only come when you actually do it. So when I say, you know, sit comfortable and relaxed, I mean that the small muscles in the body are relaxed, like especially face, thighs, buttocks, shoulders maybe. And for that, again, we need awareness. So we try to do a short body scan. And so you sit straight back, totally relaxed in a way, relaxed also with the mind, not to be afraid, not to be anxious, to really choose to let go of the past, to let go of the future. These things are not here yet. The only place where we can find happiness is the present, and we want to be happy. This is it, you know, the automatic pilot, our nature is to be happy. So then choose or allow yourself not to follow the thoughts. But don't force yourself, don't beat yourself up, you know, kind of try to understand you're not losing anything, or, you know, if you don't follow your thoughts. You're not wasting anything. It's okay. You can let them go. We don't have to follow every thought. They just drive us crazy, that's all. And they kind of disconnect us from reality. And we're constantly there. So come to the body. The body is always the best thing to come present. So be aware of the body. Be aware that you are sitting. And feel how it feels. Experience. How does it feel to know that I am sitting? Being aware of the body, experiencing the body, and knowing unmistakably that you are sitting. Already that, if you do that regularly, that already gives you, it relaxes you, it opens you up. So then we can do the calm method again. You remember CALM, so the chest. You experience the chest when you breathe in without any judging. Oh, wow, it's really tight. Don't judge. Don't think about what you're doing. Only do it, experience it, not with thoughts. So when you breathe in, experience what's going on there. How does it feel when you breathe out? You totally open up. You can even imagine that with the out breath, all the tensions are going. Chest opens, totally relaxed. Then A, the arms. So we sweep down to include your shoulders, and with your awareness, you can do both arms at the same time, it's fine. If it's not possible, do one after the other. So you sweep down with your awareness, and you need to give a bit of pressure, because otherwise, you know, you haven't even arrived at the elbows, you're already kind of with your thoughts again. So you need to kind of to hold the attention there with a bit of effort. Otherwise you lose it immediately. So then you sweep down your arms and again, know how they feel. You can even talk to them. Hello, arms, how do you feel? To be fully there. Down to your hands. In breath, you notice the sensations without thinking about them, without judging. Out breath, you open up, you become very wide and very spacious. Okay, L, legs. So that includes your genital area, your buttocks. This is where we hold tensions when we sit on the floor, sometimes the thighs, the lower legs, the feet. So again, same thing with the arms, you just sweep down with your awareness, put a bit of pressure, kind of hold it there. Don't be too loose. By breathing in, you notice the sensations. By breathing out, you open up. Then you come back up to your face. I think M means mouth, but it means the whole face because it's very often the mouth who is tight, the lips, the jaws, the tongue. You put your tongue on your palate, the upper palate. There's only one palate, but usually we say upper palate. Your eyes, behind the eyes, around your eyes. Drop your eyes. Don't pull the muscles together there. And then in a very friendly way, you focus on your breath. In breath for in breath, out breath for out breath, without wanting to achieve anything. But make sure that you're very friendly, open, soft, not pushing. We know how it feels to be friendly. So produce that sensation of being friendly with myself. And in that friendly manner, to focus on the breath. Whatever else is happening, allow it to happen. Don't interfere. Don't manipulate. You're anxious, that's fine. You're open, that's okay. And then again, if your attention or your awareness slips away, when you notice it, this is the progress when you notice it. So don't think you failed. This is where the transformation starts, when you notice it. And then you bring back your awareness to your in-breath, out-breath. There also, you can maybe check a little bit your state of mind. If you're very calm, very open, you focus on your nose, or you feel the little tension coming in, going out. You have a lot of thoughts, you focus on your abdomen. Rising and falling, rising and falling. So again, it's a good way to really check what's going on with me at the moment. A lot of thoughts, or calm and open, or sluggish. Also, when you're sluggish and tired, you also go to your nose. And so you don't need to do anything else but that. You don't have to follow your thoughts. You don't have to figure out problems. You just let the mind rest on the breath, knowing in breath for in breath and out breath for out breath. Okay, then we go to the reflection. So now the mind maybe has calmed down a bit, maybe not, maybe it fell asleep. Everything is okay. See that also, don't judge yourself. Be friendly with yourself, patient. So then again, we just look, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I kind of listening to that? To be very clear what you want. But without then needing to that it will happen immediately. Yeah, just knowing where you want to go with this, just knowing why you are here. This is enough. Then let go of that it should happen immediately or very fast. And then we go again, we did that last week already. When I get upset or frustrated, what's the trigger? It is so important to know the triggers. And very often the trigger is our expectations. We already imagine how the situation or the meeting will be before we actually even go there. And then of course, 100%, we want to have it my way, which of course is the best way. And very often that viewpoint, my way, is very narrow. It is just me. Out there are so many beings, but we forget. We kind of separate ourselves from others, and this is why we suffer a lot. We don't see the interconnectedness. unless you are a professional mediator, you hardly ever go to a meeting by thinking, how can I benefit the others who will be in that meeting? When we look at our automatic pilot, it says, what is in there for me? And because it's so normal and natural, we think it's a good thing to do. But then the heart is closed. Our view is like the tunnel view. If it's not good for me, then it's not good for everybody or anybody. So again, before we start with the talking, try to open up your hearts and just think, everything that you are enjoying right now, how many people had to do their job properly so that you can enjoy what you are enjoying right now? Try to count them and go further and further and further and further and see what happens to your state of mind when you do that. If you lose it and you get lost in thoughts about yourself, go back. Whatever I enjoyed today, like for example, air conditioner, food, clothes, transport, the computer that we're using now. How many people had to do their jobs in the right way so I could enjoy what I enjoyed today? Or used, it doesn't have to be enjoyment. And then we just say thank you. And we try to feel how that feels when we say thank you. Not feeling guilty because, so many people work for me. No. But being grateful, being happy, saying thank you. So like I see all your faces on the screen here, I'm really grateful. I'm happy when I see you. If you wouldn't be there, I wouldn't be happy. Well, maybe yes, but not in that way. You become the cause for my happiness. So it's wonderful. So thank you for listening to me. It's wonderful. So try to find somebody else in your day today, or maybe yesterday, but it's good if it's today or not so long ago, that made you happy. And even the person is not present, say thank you. And notice how you feel. And notice if that would be something that you call a mensch. You see, we all share that quality of open, good heart. This is what we have in common with everybody. We can be friendly. We can be grateful. We can be happy. But very often we don't know how. Okay. So how many of you did the homework? Okay, Maya, I see a hand. Right, the others are hidden. The others on the other panel are hidden. Tal is raising the hand. Anybody else? You can also do like this. You see, you can go, for example, you can go like this with the thumbs up. Then I know that you've done your homework. Okay. So anyway, I'll still, Gal, how did it go with the splitting up rooms? Gal?
I don't know why I don't see that icon.
Yeah, you have to install it on your settings. If you have to go into your settings where your subscription is,
All right.
and there it's like, you know, I mean, it's a lot what you can change. So if you change too much, like I did one day, then nothing works anymore. But it's okay. Anyway, so maybe next time, if there will be a next time, then you make me the host and then I'll do it if you can't figure it out.
I can make
Also,
you
you
a
know-
host.
Huh?
I can make you a host right now, just
Yeah,
for.
but I need to kind of install it before. Also,
All right.
it's okay. So anyway, so but we can share. Well, like the group is not too big, which you know, is great because I prefer, because then we can all talk to each other. So the idea would have been that I would divide you into maybe 3 people each group, and then you share with each other. What the homework was to see what kind of remedy do I have when I'm not well, and what kind of antidotes do I use when I'm angry. Okay, that was the homework, that you really try to see what you use, you know, not when you are in the Dharma group and when you discuss. This is why I said it's homework, because when you're in the Dharma group and you discuss, you all say the right thing, you know. But then if I look sometimes with me also, I'm not doing the right thing spontaneously when I'm out there in the world. I can actually confess to you what I did like last Sunday. And this is, again, you know, I mean, I had not nice thoughts, I have to say, but if I wouldn't practice awareness meditation, I wouldn't have noticed them, because it seemed just to be a frustration. So I didn't see the story behind it. So your homework for the next week will be, as I said, find the trigger and then dig up the story behind. Try to see what your thoughts are saying in that moment, because then you see they're totally ridiculous. So what happened last Sunday, because it was Sunday, and Sunday in Europe is your Shabbat, right? Is your Saturday. So we had a puja. I turned on the WhatsApp. I turned on the Zoom. It didn't work. And it worked somehow, but it didn't work. Like I could see who was present, but nobody had the camera on. My camera didn't go on. You know, they only saw, I have this picture, this one. So they only saw that. Nobody heard each other and nothing moved. And so, do you know there's an alternative, by the way, which is Google Meet? Yeah, so do you know it? If you have Gmail, it's like Google Meet, and then you can also quickly make a link and then you just email it to everybody. So, you know, Switzerland is great. We have small groups. So I can just, you know, put in everybody's email and then send them the link. So we met on Google Meet. So somebody said, well, you see the churches, it's Sunday, the churches have started to use Zoom. So now it's too many people using it. And so I was frustrated. And I thought, like, you know, in a subliminal way, but I really thought it, why do the churches need to start to use Zoom now? They didn't use it before. So the Zoom is ours. Why are they using it? So to be honest, these were my thoughts. So then when you see your thoughts, kind of, they don't make roots, right? So they go like, come on, it's ridiculous. Zoom is for everybody. Everybody who pays the subscription can use the Zoom, even if they haven't used it until now. So this is why awareness is really important, yeah? Because what happens with these kind of thoughts, they accumulate, and all of a sudden I start hating the churches, yeah? So this is why. So this is what I mean. It is important that you see the triggers. And as we said last time, because I don't know if Yana is here, a very big trigger for anger is unhappiness and being tired. So that's what you have to take care of. If you want to take care of your anger without taking care of your unhappy mind or your tiredness, it won't work. You just get more frustrated. Yeah. So this is why the homework was also, what do I do when I don't feel well? So I can still ask the group. As I said, it's not so big, so that's nice. So everybody can participate in this and we can all hear. What do you do? What is your remedy when you're not well? Question to the group. Huh?
I can answer if you want. I did two things. I just noticed that I'm not the best mood, so I breathe. Just stopped and did some breathing. Deep breathing. And then one time I saw a movie about something that actually the Dharma Friends has nice movies. So I saw that because I'm sort of like in a retreat mode. So I try to do the more Dharma things. So there was a nice movie about His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So I saw that one, and that was nice. And then I had a chat with a Dharma friend about those things, and that was also helpful.
Okay, great. Anybody else? So you see, these are all suggestions that you can try out. I isolate myself going to my room. Okay. Also good.
No, there was one morning when I was like really, I found myself going on and on about a lot of things that are very upsetting to me. And I suddenly thought about, this lesson. I was going, oh my God, I'm so angry. I'm just really angry. I'm just shooting at everybody. I'm just like, and just seeing it. So it kind of, it took the air out of the balloon. I was really righteous. This one was wrong and that, and the neighbor got on my nerves. And I was like, wow, you're like so angry. What's going on? You're just angry. Just, didn't sleep well or whatever. You started a bad morning. It just, so it was nice because the reminder was there. I mean, it was like a couple of days after. So it was, it kind of really put it down. But a lot of times when I feel not well, it's just, I'm trying not to get too much into the story because I do tend to get into a really, it's because of this and that and this. And I try to say, okay, I'm not really happy right now. And there are things going on, but it's not that. It's just, I'm not really happy. Okay, so I'm not really happy. And then it sort of doesn't, trying not to move, tell myself, yes, I've got every reason to not be happy. And I keep saying,
try to do anything to drop the story. This is it.
Yeah.
As long as you're in the story, that's no way that your anger can subside. Yeah. So there was also some chat things here.
There was one. Can I say one more line? One more sentence. There's one sentence I keep reminding myself. I keep saying, I live on the cream of the Western world. So this situation is not great right now. Like you say, it's a way of being grateful. So, relax. Your troubles are
exactly. We can switch. Yeah. So also what is when you're angry and you can't walk away, you can't go to you can't go to the beach, you cannot isolate yourself. So a very quick way of this, the first thing is Rakefet said, you notice. You need to notice it before it goes into the big storm. Yeah. And then anger has very little chance to then explode in a nasty way, that we not care about other people's feelings, we hurt them, or we behave in a really kind of totally inconsiderate way. That's what I mean. or hurting ourselves, you know, like hitting the wall or something like that. Some people do that when they're very angry. You know, they kind of, with the fist, they hit something and then they hurt themselves. Or some people, I remember we had a neighbor, he was Italian and it was World Football Cup, you know, and Italy lost. So he threw the TV out of the window. So this is what anger does. You know, I mean, you find it funny, but then once his anger was gone, I mean, he wasn't very happy about. So he had the unhappiness about Italy losing the final, plus no more TV. So it's good to see. It's good to see when we are not angry, what anger is doing, and that is kind of really easy to see in others. You know, I think last time also we did a bit of a reflection. What do I really want? And we went into the direction, we want to be respected, we want to be appreciated, we want health, we want a good job, we want to be liked. Yeah, Bruno is giving us his opinion. So we'll talk about this in a moment. It's great. So we want to be liked, but then we really honestly ask ourselves, like Sigal was saying, I honestly ask myself what is going on. This way you can honestly ask yourself what is going on. But if you're still in the anger and you ask yourself what is going on, you have thousands of reasons to be angry. So you need to make the step out of it. So yeah, this whole thing to observe, to notice, and then to see. I want to be loved. I want to be respected. I want to be a member of a group where people feel comfortable with. I don't want to be the one, whenever I come, you know, people go, oh, here comes that one again. There are people like this, isn't it? Especially angry people. You can have a group of people sitting together and having a lot of fun. Somebody comes who is angry, the whole energy kind of goes together. So we ask ourselves, in what way can anger help me to get what I really want? Okay? And you have to ask that again and again and again and again, not when you're angry, because anger tells you a pretty much wrong story. It exaggerates the negative sides. It only sees one side. It doesn't see the other side. It definitely doesn't see the complexity of the whole situation, like my state of mind, the other person's state of mind, the temperature. You know, I mean, when it's hot, don't expect people to be patient if they're not spiritual practitioners. You know, you can use the heat to practice patience. Then the heat is not so bad anymore. Because last year, before I came to Israel, some of you know the story. Last year, before I came to Israel, we had a heat wave here in Switzerland, also like 36, 38, like really hot. And we don't have air conditioning. Yeah. But I thought, this is great. I can train for Israel. So I, on purpose, went outside into the sun, and I went for walks, and people said, like, are you crazy? What are you doing? I said, I'm training because I'm going to Israel. When I came to Israel, it was 30 degrees. Yeah. So it was absolutely not a problem. It was actually cooler in Israel than it was in Switzerland. So it's not the temperature. It is not the heat. It's your approach toward it. So the moment we go, it's bad, I can't bear it, this is horrible, it's true. And it's true. You know, some people have very, very sensitive bodies, but if the mind pulls along with it and makes it really true, then of course you're impatient, you're in a bad mood and this and that. And then you suffer again, you suffer double. Yeah. So in the heat wave, you can think you are training in case you want to come to Europe, because in Europe, especially Northern Europe, nobody has air conditioners yet, because we never used them. And you see, we still have the hope that the global warming will stop and then it won't go up anymore. We still count on that we will have normal summers again, where you can, it's nice, you know, you go to the swimming pool, it's 25, 28 degrees. But tomorrow we will have 28 also. And for end of May, this is absolutely not usual. So I think the global warming, that's it. We're in for, so you better train now before you go before it gets hotter. Yeah. So we can use everything. And it really depends on how you see the whole thing. Okay. Okay, so we'll go. Do you have questions or comments here? Oh no, Bruno also said, let's see what he said. I compare my problems to the sufferings of other people who are much less privileged than me. And Bruno, does it help? Do you feel better then? You know, you do things, but do you also notice, does it help? Because as I'm saying, some of you give the totally right answers, but does it help you? Or do you just know it from the book? So Bruno, does it help when you think like that? Then are you happy? Bruno has gone silent. Come on, Bruno. He has to write first.
It helps me. It helps me a little because I see how the trigger of my anger is a very low things. Sometimes I am a little furious by. I go to a shop and the cashier, the people in front of me is very slow, and I see that I want to be a Buddhist, to have patience, and I see how my spirit is sometimes very little.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? We're not very tolerant, especially this is why also remember at the beginning when we did, we had to wait for some people and I said,
yes,
notice how you feel when you wait and notice how, so try not to wait and just to be. So queues in the supermarket is fantastic. I mean, it's the best way, it's the best place to practice patience. Not so that the queue will go faster, but you just open up and you say, okay, what's the big deal? I have to wait, okay? Maybe you're in a hurry, but most of the time we're not even in a hurry. But it has become such a habit that the supermarket has to go fast. Now, are your supermarket cashier people still your heroes or have they lost their status? I hope they're still heroes. Okay, but Bruno, this is not what I asked you. You said I think about other people who are more privileged than I am. So I did ask you, does it help? And I just wanted a yes or a no.
I think it helps me to see I have a good job.
Does it make you happier when you see all this? I'm talking about, you know, does it help in a way? Does it make you feel more relaxed, more joyful, more happy? You're open. These methods. This is what I'm asking. And I just want a yes or a no.
I think it helps me because I see how the trigger of my anger is so small, and I could have a disease. I could be an handicapped person. And
Yeah. Okay, so this could help. You see, when he says, like, I see other people who are less privileged than me. This is a trap because then you can also feel guilty. But if you think, wow, I could be in their position, that works, you know, because our anger totally exaggerates the situation. So then we can think, but hello, the situation could be much worse. So that is a very good antidote for anger, by the way, or, you know, depression or whatever, or not feeling well or feeling, and you need to be realistic. In what way could it be worse? I could be sick. Me, you know, I was an alcoholic. I very often think I could still be an alcoholic. I'm not dependent on these things anymore. So then, you know, the problem that I have is, okay, it's a problem, but could be much worse. if it would be this and this and this and this. So for that, again, it's very personal. You have to find your own way of in what way it could be worse, so that then the situation would be much more difficult. Do you understand what I'm saying? So write it down, for example, you know, write your thoughts down. What way could it be worse? I could have no friends. Everybody could maybe hate me. Nobody likes me, like these kind of things. You know, we have so many friends. I mean, can you imagine just that? We're not angels and we're not that mange sometimes, and we're pretty kind of selfish, but people still like us. How wonderful, isn't it? And not only that, other people also allow us to like them, which is much more safe because it's easier to like others than other people liking us. Because over you liking others, you have a bit of control, whereas other people liking you don't have control. Okay? Okay, so find your own remedies for when you are unhappy, or your antidotes for anger, because not everything works for the same people. I can only give you suggestions, and then you have to, then you have to find it yourself, and then you have to apply them, and then you have to really check, does it help? Because, you know, I know people who apply Dharma methods for many years, and I see, but it doesn't help them. The Buddha gave 84,000 teachings, not because there's 84,000 people, because there is different people with different predispositions. So that's what makes Buddhism very, very complicated, because you have to find out for yourself by applying it, by practicing, what really works, because what works for them doesn't work for me. And what sounds, you know, sometimes it might feel very, very inspiring, and wow, I really want to do that. I don't want to do any negative action anymore. I don't want to have any negative thought anymore. But then we crash because it's too high. It's too difficult. We're not starting from where we are. And when I said, you know, even with breathing meditation, make sure you always bring friendliness into it. Loving kindness is kind of, you know, it's a bit of a strange word, but metta, many of you know the word metta. So metta is this accepting mind. Metta is this understanding mind. And when you are not well and you apply metta to yourself, instead of being angry that you're not well and frustrated, you bring friendliness to the situation. Like you would ask a very good friend in a very friendly way, hey, what's wrong? You know, you're not taking somebody who is not well by the shoulders and shake him and say, oh, what's wrong with you? Be happy because you have all these things. Yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. So be kind to yourself. Lama Yeshe always said, if you cannot be kind to yourself, you cannot be kind to others. But by the way, being kind doesn't mean you let your mind do whatever it wants to do. If your kind of cortex understands that this is not helpful, then you say stop, like a loving mother would do with her children, but in a friendly way. In a friendly way, meaning I want them to be happy, or I want me to be happy. You know, sometimes when I ask people, what do you really want? You can use the sentence, I just want to be happy, and try to see what happens. Instead of going all these, you know, all these complicated things, what you want. I just want to be happy. And all of a sudden we realize and we notice that what I'm doing is not creating happiness, even if it's very beneficial work for others. If it makes you very frustrated and very angry, and your whole family gets the anger all the time, or your friends, you know, people that you think, oh, I can do with them whatever I want because they belong to me, maybe it's not the right job for you. So it doesn't mean you have to get rid of your job or you have to leave your job, but it means you really have to start working with your anger. But there again, you know, it's all this expectation that we want to have results when we, especially when we invest a lot of ourselves, right? We give ourselves totally, when you're very enthusiastic for your work, and you then there's this kind of thing, oh, I give so much, I want something back. And this is also something that is pretty much unconscious. So it's good to work with this also. What I'm doing, I do whatever I can do is enough. Then the result is not in my hands. We totally forget about karma sometimes. We think that, you know, if I put effort and I do the right thing, the result has to be good. Why? Are you God? Are you Allah? Are you the Buddha? Not even the Buddha can do that. Not even the Dalai Lama can fix everything. So who are we to think that we can fix everything, you know? And what is very frustrating also, what is a big trigger, or is like, you know, I come with all these good ideas. I know exactly what the other person should do because they're in a bad state, but then they don't cooperate. They don't listen to me, you know? And then again, how do I do with this? By seeing when I am not well, also I don't cooperate with my reasoning sometimes at all. I go totally the other way, yeah? And try to have humor also. Humor is such a good antidote for anger, you know? Try to see the craziness of anger, how anger exaggerates, how it sees only one side, how it wants to be right. It's like a small child, you know, going, Tenzin Palmo, I think she says, you know, she says, we're still the same way. We're still this 3-year-old kid who kind of flies in a temper, but we don't show it because we know it's not accepted in society that we show like this. Well, Israel is kind of, it's more accepted, isn't it? I mean, when I hear sometimes, wow, and when I was there last year also, and I see Ronnie is there. So they were doing the square, like at the entrance, you know, at your entrance, Ronnie, can you remember? They were putting these stones, these tiles, and the contractor, he came and he screamed at his workers. I mean, in Switzerland, he would get sued if you talk to your workers like this. And I was going like, man, you know, Switzerland, they would walk away. So yeah, but then it's accepted. So if you know, there's culture, there's the convention, it's accepted. So yeah, I wasn't shocked. I was just surprised in a way. So yeah, so anger itself can be so funny sometimes when you're able to look at it from a distance, and especially, yes, true, that's it. And especially when you look into the mirror. Make a selfie next time when you're angry. Blow it up and put it in your living room. No, put it on the Facebook, much better. Yeah. This is me today. That's a very good antidote also. Yeah. You can do this with your children also. When the children are very angry, show them a mirror or something, you know. They cannot prevent themselves from starting to laugh because we look so ridiculous and we look so totally unattractive when you're angry. Absolutely unattractive. So even if you're conventionally quite ugly, and we know movies like this, you know, E.T., The Elephant Man, this was at my time. I don't know what kind of movies you have now. They look very, very ugly. But at the end of the movie, when E.T. said, oh, I can't even say it now without having to start crying. It's like when E.T. says, oh, E.T. going home now. Oh, it's like, you know, you feel so sorry that this wonderful being who is absolutely ugly, I'm sorry to say, but he is ugly, but he has all these qualities and now he becomes totally beautiful by the qualities. And with the face, you know, there's nothing you can do. We have young, small kids here at the moment. So I talked to one of them today and then he looks at me and he said, why don't you have a neck? Because, you know, I have this like a chicken here, a little bit like with old age, you get this kind of, you get this thing, so the neck. So he was asking me, why don't you have a neck? So I can get really angry or upset or hurt or whatever. So I said, because I'm old. And then he said, I will never have one like this. I said, well, you know, I didn't want to have it either. It just came. So he's maybe 3 or 4 years old. So it was quite funny. But you could, I saw his mother was really embarrassed when he asked this. So I hope she just left him alone, you know. So it's like, yeah, he notices I don't have a neck. It looks like a chicken. So that's what I have. So you have a choice. You can either get upset about it or not. I mean, maybe I could do plastic surgery. But you know, I need new teeth. This is expensive enough. So this one, it doesn't hurt. So like that. So that's what I mean. We can look at it in a way of, as you say, distance. So this is the first thing. You notice and you pause. You stop. You know, even stop to breathe is okay. You know, go, yeah. And then the next one is when you start to calm down by not reacting to it and taking the mind away from the object, and not to have inappropriate attention. You take away the mind from the object. And then you start to apply antidotes, as I was asking. Don't apply antidotes when you're still in the middle of it, you know. So the first few things for you things would be distract yourself. Start jumping, go for a walk, eat something, sing, whatever, when you're alone, yeah? And then you calm down, and then you start to use antidotes, like, you know, these thoughts. How do I look? What do I want to achieve with this anger? Does it really help me to be happy? You know, oh, my karma ripening, oh, creating more negative karma, these kind of things. But you can only start to think that when you're calm. And then you change perspective. You go to the other side. You think, how was this for the other person now? Because usually, you know, I'm not talking about these frustrations with situations or like this, even though this is where it starts, because this is where then we start to build up this whole thing, and then we get frustrated about everything. And this is the place also to practice, which is much easier because there's no people involved. It's just a situation. So then we try to see, how does it look from the other side? Was it really just what I said? Is it really true what I said? On top of it, was it kind? Was it necessary to say that in such a way? Yeah. And then you become even more calmer maybe, and then you apply, of course, the Dharma and emptiness. And they call this, you release the emotion into its own nature by trying to go and find it. But again, you need to be already out of it, because otherwise it's not working. Otherwise you increase it. You know, if you're still totally in the emotion and you try to find the nature, it's going to, because it still has you in its grip. So you kind of, you go into the awareness, because when you are in your anger, you think you are the anger. When you start to be aware of the anger, you notice, oh, I'm not just my anger, I am also awareness. So it loses a lot of power. You sap it of its power by identifying with the awareness and not identifying with the anger. But it needs to be conscious. You need to be conscious that you are now aware of the anger. So again, it needs,
Oui.
you need to put a little bit of effort to do that also. Yeah. This is why it's so important when you do, not to be too calm in your meditation and just breathe and not knowing what's going on, but just feel peaceful and calm. To know when you're breathing in that you're breathing in, and to know when you're breathing out, when you're breathing out. So then when you do anger and awareness, you go into you pause and you go into your awareness, you notice, hey, I am also awareness. And I could maybe start to apply some kindness to this anger by starting to see, hello, I suffer. This is why I got angry.
Oui, très bien.
Well, you know, are you talking to me or are you talking to somebody else? Probably to somebody else. Can you then please shut your microphone? I lost my point again here. Yeah, so then, sorry, then you release, got it. Oh, I found it myself, by myself alone. You know, usually I need other people to help me to find where I was. So releasing you try to find it, not why am I angry, but what is it? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it pulling? Is it pushing? You know, you dive with your awareness. You really dive into it to experience it. And you go deeper, and you can't find anything. But for that, you need to know about emptiness, and you need to know how to create some calmness in your mind before you do that. And then the next step would be you go especially into situations that make you angry. So like you take the emotion as a path to train. Because if we remove ourselves constantly from difficult situations, we can't train. We can't train to work with anger. You need to have anger in order to train. Because I know people who think that they are not angry people because they have a wonderful life. They're very powerful, they're very rich, everybody does what they want them to what they want them to do. And they say, oh, I am never angry. Of course not. Because everybody is frightened of them, and everybody is kind of frightened because they have so much influence and such high status. Yeah. So if nobody has ever tried to take anything away from you that you didn't want to give, you don't know if you're angry or not. And when we talk about anger also, it can be imploding anger and exploding anger. So the imploding anger, you stop communicating. The exploding anger, you start to scream. Okay. Okay with that? Are you okay with that? I can't read thoughts, so you need to, I can't even feel your energies. Okay, good. So let's go to the text so that we do a few verses today also. So we were on 6, yeah, we had like number 6. We looked at it briefly in order to then apply antidotes. It's hence the enemy anger creates suffering such as these, but whoever assiduously overcomes it finds happiness now and hereafter. Meaning, we have to be clear, I want happiness. 7 was having found its fuel of mental unhappiness in the prevention of what I wish for and in the doing of what I do not want. Hatred increases and then destroys me. So this is talking about sometimes instinctively we want the wrong things. So maybe you can close the text again so I can see you. Thank you, Gal, because I prefer. So when it says in the prevention of what I wish for and in the doing of what I do not want. So kind of culturally and probably also by the society, maybe through our parents, something that we learned is it's good to be rich, it's not good to be poor. It's good to win, it's not good to lose. It is good to have comfort, it's not good to have pain. And it's good to get praised, and it's not good to be criticized. And we believe that this is true, but it is not. So maybe you have the chance to know somebody who is very rich, who is healthy, and people like him or her, and who doesn't have any financial problems, of course, because they're rich, they have good reputation, nobody ever criticizes them, and still they're not well and are depressed. Do you know somebody like this? I see many people nodding. Okay. Then we are surprised, isn't it? We are surprised why they are not happy. And instead of feeling compassion, we actually get angry at them because we're still totally stuck in these habits and tendencies to still believe very deep down being rich is good, being poor is bad, being known is good, being not known is not good, having pain is not good, Having pleasure is good. And we totally direct our search for happiness into these directions. So then no wonder how much or how many we got of those, it never works, because that is not the cause for happiness. So this is, you know, whenever you feel triggered, whenever you feel angry, it's really good. Is any of these 8 things standing behind it? It's called the 8 worldly concerns. I see that many of you are Dharma practitioners, so you know what I'm talking about. And very often it is this. I get angry because I got hurt. I get angry because I lost something. I got angry because I'm the friar, or, you know, these kind of things. Okay. And then you remind yourselves, okay, what did I want to do with my life? Hey, I wanted to get out of samsara. Oh, I wanted to attain full awakening in order to be of benefit to all sentient beings. Money cannot give me that. Fame cannot give me that. Comfort cannot give me that. But pain can give me that, because I can practice patience, because that is one practice to attain what I want to attain. Somebody in need and me able to give, that I can attain, because I can practice generosity. Having an urge to be unethical and then with awareness saying no, that will lead to enlightenment. Yeah. What else? Enthusiasm for good things, enthusiasm for things that are useful and helpful and meaningful, that can lead to enlightenment. Concentration of meditation, like a calm mind, that will lead to enlightenment. And especially the wisdom of seeing things the way they are, meaning empty of any inherent existence, totally subjective, no objective existence out there. Yeah, and I'm sure, are you still going to Keshima on Sunday? Unfortunately, I can't join anymore because I also have things on Sunday. So, so by now you should know what I'm talking about when I talk about empty, after having listened to her. So I don't want to say too much about emptiness because I'll just confuse you. So it's better you listen to her when this thing. But also to, you know, as Sigal said, when I'm angry, I really try to see what's really going on. What's really going on, try to see, is this real? Is this true? Yeah. And then again, especially at the beginning, don't go too far with the, is this real? Because then you fall into nihilism. Okay. So what was it? Who was it? Tsogni Rinpoche, maybe. Was it Mingyur Rinpoche? Was it? No, it was Tsogni Rinpoche with his fear of height. You know, the fear that comes up, the panic when he's talking about glass bridges in Malaysia that kind of connect 2 high-rise buildings. And he wanted to go across and he totally panicked and he couldn't. And so he had to work with this fear. So your emotions are real. They're real, they're there. So don't go, no, the emotion is not there, it's all empty. Yeah. But they're not true. Learn that phrase. Okay. It's real, it's there, I feel it, but it's not true. So then you don't fall into, you know, you're not negating too much. And then you don't neglect yourself by going, oh, but everything is empty. What's the big story that you're making? Okay, don't go like this. This is no good. Yeah. And also don't use that reasoning with emptiness and conventional reality. Don't go like, things are empty of inherent existence, but they still exist. That's not right. You have to go, things are empty of inherent existence. That is why they can exist. Because when you say, well, but they still exist, it's not exactly what it says. It doesn't work so well in English. In German, it works much better. Because in German, it's trotzdem und deshalb. Yeah, so for those who speak German. Trotzdem is like, oh, you know, this is not so useful, but still I like it. But emptiness would say, this is not so useful, that's why I like it. Okay, so because otherwise you're negating, you're kind of separating the two things. I don't know if I'm making sense for the big scholars there. Leora, Kenneth, what do you think?
I agree.
Huh?
I agree.
You agree? Okay. So you see, the choice of words is very important in order to get a deeper understanding. Yeah. So then also, when you are angry at somebody, I think we already had the situation, but it's really good to how do you think about the person when you're angry at the person? So we go like, you know, we are angry, so we go like, you are always so nasty to me. So it means you are, the nastiness is only coming from that side, objective. You are, not I see you as being nasty. This is how we should talk. You appear as nasty to me. No, is it? You are. Then always. And we totally forget all the moments before when they were not nasty. And then nasty, meaning only that aspect. This person only has that aspect. We don't see the other aspects anymore. And there, if somebody comes and tells us, but you know, the person is quite nice, what happens then? We go like, oh yeah, thank you very much. I totally forgot. Totally the opposite. We get upset. We feel double hurt. You don't understand, you know, what's going on. You don't know this other person. And it's true. Because with anger and with non-anger, there is two different people there. And none of them exists the way that they appear to you. Not the nasty one, not the totally friendly one. Yeah. So the choice of words is really, really important. So that's another thing that you start to pay attention to. Okay, so then we look at number 8, Gal. Verse number 8. Therefore, I should totally eradicate the fuel of this enemy, for this enemy has no other function than that of causing me harm. Okay, so 7 and 8 kind of go together. So the fuel for anger is our unrealistic expectations of finding wealth or, like, you know, gain, being healthy all the time, although we can wish for it, that everybody's doing what we want them to do, like these 8 worldly concerns. Like we don't have to be unhappy when we don't find the so-called good things, and we don't have to be unhappy when we find the so-called bad things, because the bad things are much better for your practice, for your Dharma practice. The bad things are much better for your happiness, actually, if you are not in a too bad state. So again, it depends what state you are. Yeah. But if we can use everything as a practice, yeah, the good things that happen to us, or the easy, let's say more, but let's use words that are more precise. The easy things that happen, pleasure, wonderful, you know, at the moment here in Switzerland, everything is so green and so clean because we had rain and we have warmth, and it's amazing. And I look out, it's like wow, it's so beautiful. Next thought, may everybody enjoy this beauty. Yeah, not just for me. So this is how we use the good things that happen to us. I want to share this. Yeah, or share is sometimes, you know, how can I share? I mean, it's like, may everybody enjoy this. Yeah, when things are not so great, you go like, may nobody have to undergo that suffering. it widens your mind, it widens your heart, then the problem is much smaller, and the joy actually of looking at these beautiful things out there becomes much bigger. Yeah, so this is how we learn what brings also just temporary happiness at the moment, okay? Because the happiness that we want, lasting happiness, that will only come once we have totally eliminated all our negative emotions. And unfortunately, that will last a long time. That only starts to happen on the path of seeing. So the ones with the Heart Sutra, as you already talked about the 5 paths, I guess so, yeah? Did you talk about the 5 paths in the Heart Sutra? Yeah. Yes? So the path of seeing comes, the path of seeing is when you see emptiness directly. Okay, like when you really see that, everything that appears is just appearance. But you only see absence of real existence in your meditation. Yeah? You don't see it when you're out. Don't try now to find the emptiness in the thing with your eyes. You will not find it, okay? But you will find parts which are not the thing. Yeah. What you will find when you explore like this, you will find the non-finding of the pen. That's what you will find. And that is emptiness in a way. But going through relative reality, relative level, the level of relative reality. So the non-finding of the pen is the finding of emptiness, but you need a pen in order to find the non-finding of the pen. Yeah, so it's not a total absence of pen. Anyway, I don't want to go there. I'm going on really thin ice here, I think. You know, I'm very brave trying to explain that to you when you have such great teachers. Okay, so the enemy is not the situation. The enemy is our expectations of finding these 4 things that we want, which is gain, pleasure, good reputation, and praise. And the enemy is not wanting loss, pain, criticism, and bad reputation. Okay? So we start to switch totally. And you see, your life is much easier. I don't know if when I was at Tushita, the bumper sticker that was on the Jeep was no anger, no enemy. So in Buddhist terms, the enemy is not somebody that harms you. That actually, when you are a very, very advanced and realized Bodhisattva, that person that harms you becomes your best friend because he's exhausting your negative karma. But I'm talking about realized Bodhisattvas, okay? I'm not talking about me here. That becomes your best friend because he exhausts your negative karma. On top of it, he makes you practice patience, yeah, and loving kindness towards somebody which is difficult. So for a bodhisattva, an enemy is somebody that I want to harm. Only that is an enemy, not somebody who harms me. So when you read in the scriptures, the bodhisattvas have no enemies, and then we go, oh, I want to become a bodhisattva, then I have no more enemies. It's not that nobody will harm you. You know, it is that you will have absolutely zero wish for somebody else to suffer, even the slightest suffering, you know, of being too hot or too cold. Not even that wish is there anymore. Yeah, that means no enemy. So for somebody who wants to practice patience, then the enemy is our attitudes, our beliefs, our tendencies. Yeah. So that we can change. People outside, we can't change them, but we can change our attitudes. But I tell you what, it's not easy. And it takes a long time. So even by just wanting to change your habits and tendencies, you will practice patience. So you see, again, here it says, practice patience. It doesn't say do patience. It doesn't say be patient. It says practice patience. So even though, you know, something happens, you're not saying anything, you're not reacting, the situation doesn't change, but you're not reacting, and then you start to get discouraged, but it's not working. It is working. You're practicing patience, and you're practicing endurance, which is also a mental muscle that we need to have, not to give up every time and run somewhere else. Yeah. So even nothing works outside, even if you're still kind of angry, but you're not reacting, you are practicing patience. But not reacting doesn't mean, again, I just really want to say that and emphasize that, doesn't mean to swallow it. It doesn't mean to ignore it. It means you can look at it without reacting, knowing that reacting is not beneficial at the moment because I'm too agitated. Yeah, that is practicing patience. That's very difficult. Yeah, so don't underestimate the task. So please give yourself the time that we need in order to do that. And just trying, in this case, is enough. Being interested in wanting to try. Number 9, maybe. Yeah, maybe number 9 we can do also. And then we do short reflection and then we stop. Number 9. Whatever befalls me, I shall not disturb my mental joy. Can you notice he said, he doesn't say, I wanted to read, it shall not. He says, I shall not disturb my mental joy, showing us that we are the ones disturbing our own mental joy. Nobody else, not the situation outside. We are the ones with our wrong views. For having been made unhappy, I shall not accomplish what I wish, and my virtues will decline. Okay? Oh, no, we do number 10 also, because that one is such a good remedy. Sorry, I almost skipped that one. So this you put on your fridge, and you put it on the mirror in the bathroom, and you put it on your computer in your workplace, and you put it in your car, and you put it everywhere. And Leora, are you showing where to put it? You put it in your heart, you put it in your head. Learn it by heart. But unless you have it by heart, unless it comes automatically, put it somewhere where you can see it, where it says, why be unhappy about something if it can be remedied? And what is the use of being unhappy about something if it cannot be remedied? And again, choice of word, maybe not so happy here, because it means it's more kind of unhappiness makes us angry, but it's okay to be unhappy about things that are not right. Injustice, people kind of, especially us, it's okay for me to be unhappy when I act not in a kind way, because then I will change. Yeah. So this also, it's very Buddhist. It has to be interpreted. When he talks about unhappy here, probably he means, you go on and on and on and on about the same thing. You just keep complaining, but there's nothing I can do. Yeah. And the same thing, it's okay. I think you can let go of the text again, because that's it. Because feeling very unhappy when you actually could change something, you're not changing it. You're stuck. Because you don't have the courage and you don't have the energy. You see, low self-confidence is a huge, what's it called? A huge hindrance on the path. Depression, unhappiness. Very often people come to the Dharma because they think it will help them with their depression. And sometimes it's even advertised like this. But it doesn't really, because it prevents you from trying. And being full of doubt all the time and being depressed and I'm so bad and I'm a nobody and this and this. It's not Buddhism. It might be other traditions. I don't know, you're a good practitioner if you feel bad about yourself. This is not what Buddhism says. Because Buddhism talks about Buddha nature, which is only covered, and no matter how bad you are, and no matter how stupid you are, or whatever, you know, this nature is always there. And we have to learn to identify with that. And how do you do it? When you let go of all your negative sides. This is for the people who are depressed, okay? This is not for the arrogant ones. So again, you need to know when to apply what. You know, when you're very arrogant and you keep thinking about your positive sides, you get more and more arrogant. And then somebody comes and pops your balloon because he's better than you are, pop, then you really get it. So you need to know when to apply when. So when you're depressed and you have no self-confidence and you feel you're a total zero, I'm not sure, English you don't say like that. In French you say, je suis nul, meaning I'm zero. Oh, see, we talked about this, yeah? Je suis nul. With Valda, we talked about zeros. You can't practice. It's impossible. So first you have to build yourself up. I am somebody. I have a right to be happy. Give yourself the right to be happy, please, you know? And what's really sad, sometimes it's really kind and considerate people who feel really low about themselves. And the others who are total selfish, kind of, you know, not giving a damn about somebody else's happiness, they feel really very good about themselves. It's very sad, in a way. So when you're depressed, you feel low about yourself, think about the things you do well. Think about your qualities. Go and ask a good friend. Do you think I'm really that bad? How do you see me? Don't ask your enemy. Don't ask somebody who dislikes you. They will really give you, you know, what you don't want to hear. And don't look at your negative sides. And then when you're strong enough and you trust your positive sides, then you start to look at your negative sides. Only then. Otherwise you get stuck, and it's a shame because it's a waste of time. Feeling depressed, feeling full of doubt, feeling like I'm so, it's a big ego thing, you know? It's sometimes the ego is sometimes bigger in there. You can feel it much stronger than when you're arrogant. The arrogant ego has quite a bit of space because it's mixed with joy, yeah? Whereas the depressed ego is huge. And the reality of the depressed ego, everything is bad, everything is black, nothing ever works, I'm the least of the least. This is what it tells you, you know? It's totally unrealistic, yeah? So it's a hindrance, so you need to cheer up, guys. Can you cheer up? It's just a movie, and it will finish. Impermanence is very good. Yeah, impermanence. My life will finish. So don't be afraid of thinking about death. Think about this every morning when you get up. This can be my last day. Every night you go to sleep, one day less in my life where I have time to do what I want to be or what I want to do. I want to be happy. I still haven't found it. Okay, I need to look somewhere else. Don't go down the same alley all the time. If you can't find it there, it's not there. Don't be like Nasruddin, who is he lost his key and he's searching for it under a lamp. And there's a policeman coming and saying, but did you lose it here? He says, no, but here is more light. Do you see? We're looking for happiness in the wrong place. We are looking for happiness thinking, when people like me, then I'm happy. No, it's when you start to love and like people, then you are happy. This is the cause for happiness, not judging and looking and they're bad and this and this and this. Try to see their goodness, try to see their Buddha nature also. Yeah. The worst of the worst, your president, even he has Buddha nature. Yeah. Whenever you feel your mind could, no, wait, not his actions. Very important. Not his actions, but he is a person. So that's another thing. Whenever we want to practice patience with somebody, you know, like the black belt in the karate, the difficult people, yeah? Then the first step is you separate the action from the person. The action is bad. The person is not bad. There is no such thing as bad people. There's only negative or harmful, or if you want to use the word bad, bad actions, but we mix it. That's the problem. Yeah. So you don't have to approve of somebody's actions in order to love that person. It's another wrong view, that we think we have to approve of their actions so that we can, use loving kindness. Loving kindness is an acceptance and to understand interdependence. That's all it is. You don't have to approve of what they're doing. Wow, I gave you a lot of things tonight, what you can drop. So don't try to practice everything. Be kind to yourself, choose something as a homework and practice it. So you can choose yourself. I said one was the triggers and the story, and to see what happens when you drop the story. The other one was in the morning, try to see, what do I really want? Do I want fame? Do I want praise? Do I want gain? You'll be set out for loss. You can't will for people to give you love, appreciation, respect, and let you win all the time. It's impossible. We experience these 8 things all the time. Everybody does. And it depends on our karma. That's all. Yeah. It's not a matter of wishing for these things or willing those things. That sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. So when we let go of seeing them as the cause for our unhappiness, or the other ones the cause for our happiness, then we start to look in the right place. As Lama Zopa says, if you label things that are not happiness, you will never find happiness. But if you start to label things that bring you happiness, then you will find happiness. Meaning people harming me, they will lead me to happiness because I have to practice patience. When I feel bad, I can generate compassion for myself and then for all other people who are in the same spot. That will bring me to happiness. When I have a lot of things I can share, that can bring me to happiness. Yeah, so like this. And learning to love people the way they are, not their actions, okay? There are many people who have a lot of power, who do a lot of negative actions, but they still have Buddha nature. And hate is not going to change them. Love might. At least we have a chance. Yeah. His Holiness was giving, he was answering a question to young, I think, American students, and they asked what to do with somebody who is a really bad person. And he said very clearly, try to see their negative sides. So you give them a chance to show these negative sides. It's hard work because our ego doesn't want to do that. So we'll do a short reflection on that actually. You choose yourself a bad person and to try to open up the heart. Don't take the biggest one, okay? Somebody who gets slightly on your nerves. Are we clear on that? Do you all have somebody, somebody like this? Actually, I meant that I'm trying to often notice what is bothering me. I try to, I don't know, the truth. There's no truth. Whoever said that? Sigal, there is no real truth nowhere. That's the nice thing. Then I'm laughing or talking to myself. But first, zoom out to notice the feeling. Yeah, this is important. This is the good thing. But it's good that you just said that, Sigal. I don't know if she's still here. Yeah, she's still here. So in Buddhism, there is no such thing as one truth in conventional reality. There is only one truth that is true, that is emptiness, and that has no function. Everything else that has a function is just only relatively true, and it depends from which side you see. So if you only look from one side, it's not true. It's only true from your side. You know, there's this nice joke about there's a river and there's 2 sheep. One is here and one is here. So this one is asking that one, how do I get to the other side? And this one says, but you are on the other side. Do you understand? But for us, it looks like the absolute total truth, my truth. Yeah. Figure out what is really upset me. Yeah, but when you do that, when you're still upset, you find 1,000 reasons. That's it. This is why, not what is upsetting me, more kind of what is behind this whole thing. Yeah. And then to look in me, not to find a reason outside, because outside there's many reasons. Yeah. But the real reason is here, is our attitude, that we're not taking these situations as a chance to practice. Okay, does everybody know somebody who gets slightly on your nerves? Or does everybody get very big on your nerves? Not too big, okay? Just to notice the feelings, not what the person does. Yeah, we try to do the reflection. If people who don't want to do the reflection, although it's the reflections who make you these aha moments, and then that will stay with you, and then you can always go back to that aha moment. If you don't do reflections on your intellectual stuff, there's no aha moment and it will not work. This is the thing. That's why these reflections are called analytical meditations. When you really look out inside, is so important. If you want to transform. If you don't want to transform, then of course you don't need to do these things. Okay. Just 5-7 minutes maybe. So again, connect with your body. Connect and see how you feel. Asking yourself, how am I? And listening, not giving advice what you should do, not manipulating anything. Everything that you find in reflection and in meditation is okay. And we just observe it. And by being aware of it and observing, then we see it is changing, it is impermanent, it's dynamic. When we don't look, it becomes solid and real and true. Okay, maybe we need to do comparing. So first you think about somebody that you really like. Somebody that you really like to spend time with. Somebody you would actually get out of your way to meet that person. Even you don't have that much time. Even if you wanted to go to the movie, but the person is in town, calls up and says, I'm here, can we have a cup of coffee? You drop everything because you really, really like the company of that person. It seems as if it's the person who makes you happy. It's not true. It's your attitude towards the person. But notice that feeling. The person is not even present. Just the thought about the person creates a very pleasant feeling. Soft, open, mensch, considerate, happy. And then we go like, yeah, this is how I want to be. But I need to train. And see how it's so easy, when you think these loving kindness thoughts, okay? May you be safe. You think about this person that you like and you think, may you be safe. Notice the feeling, the sensation in your heart, in the middle of your chest. It's vibrant, it's alive. There's substance to it. It's not just blah, blah. You grow with that feeling, actually. I just noticed that. May you be protected from physical and mental harm. Don't make a story how, just a wish, just a thought. May you be strong, healthy, happy, peaceful and loving. It goes so easy. slips down like ice cream in your throat. So easy, so pleasant. And may you live your life with joy and ease. Okay. Then take the other person now, the one who slightly gets on your nerves, and without judging, very important, with an inquiring mind, really wanting to know not what's going on, but how does it feel? Go from your head to your heart. How immediately the ice cream has kind of changed into a block of ice. It's very unpleasant to get that down your throat, especially if it's square and has edges. It's still cold, it's still a feeling, but it's not pleasant anymore. So explore that feeling. It's not you, okay? It's just a sensation that comes from trained thoughts. This is an unpleasant person. But then we need to use arguments, and we go like, okay, you look, force yourself to look at the person. And we notice we only see the negative sides. We don't even want that person to have good sides. God forbid. Then I would have to praise them or like them. Oh no. Let them only have negative sides. Then I can be angry at them. But then try to see the sameness. This person is just like me, you know. Wanting to be happy, not wanting to suffer. Wanting to be helped, not wanting to be harmed. Just like me. If there is resistance, it's okay. Let it be there for the beginning. You know, we have to repeat this many, many times for the ice to dissolve. Okay, we make a little step. He wants to be happy. May he be happy. Wouldn't it be wonderful if this person would be happy? Because then he wouldn't be such a pain in the neck. And then sometimes even the heart maybe opens a bit more, and we start to see on a deeper level, and we go like, this person is such a pain in the neck because he's suffering. He's unhappy. Nobody likes him because he's such a difficult person. Because he is so selfish, unconsiderate. And we feel the quivering heart when he sees suffering. May he be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, which is wrong views and negative emotions. And maybe something changes in the heart. Maybe the ice is melting a bit. If not, it doesn't matter. These sentences are very, very simple. So in a friendly and unjudging way, if you want to transform your negative feelings towards people, just keep repeating these phrases by visualizing that person. And don't take too big enemies or unpleasant people. But now we open up our heart again, mind and heart. There are so many beings in this universe. I'm just a tiny part here. Take myself so seriously. Oh, the big me, the center of the universe. I'm not. I'm just a part of this whole thing. So me and all the others, absolutely every sentient being, every living being, down to the smallest insect. May they all be safe. May they all be protected from physical and mental harm. May they all get to know and trust the causes for happiness, which is love, compassion, and wisdom. May they all be able to have the conditions to be able to develop it, inner conditions, the trust. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be Buddhism. It doesn't matter which direction. It doesn't matter the label you put to the method, but methods that develop the heart, not the brain. So that we can all be strong, healthy, loving, peaceful, and happy. And then life will become totally easy and very, very joyful. May that happen very, very quickly. And then we make a small step and we say, may I be able to contribute to that? Instead of destroying somebody's happiness, may I make them happy? May I have freedom from suffering? Whenever they are with me, they will be safe from being hurt, exploited, not respected, and so on. Okay, we will go, if we're having another meeting next Wednesday, is that still going on? Yeah. So then we will go into equanimity more next week with verse 11 and so on. Because equanimity is really very, very important. And once you have more, you get more and more open heart towards anybody, everybody, your life will become by itself much easier. You will have more happiness, more open heart. And it is the first step for bodhicitta anyway. It's like, there's no way that you can say that, oh, I'm practicing bodhicitta if you don't have at least the wish for equanimity. It's a very big step. It's very, very difficult to create equanimity. Yeah, but we'll try that. Also for Shantideva's study group, because Venerable Yönten was supposed to talk about equanimity, but then it didn't happen because she didn't have any electricity. So I guess it will still happen at one point, because it was activism and compassion or equanimity. Yeah. Is Tal, are you still there somewhere?
Yes, I am.
Do you already know when it will happen?
Yeah, the 6th of June. It's a Saturday.
6th of June.
Saturday.
Maybe I can, I'm not sure. I have so many things also the weekend, crazy, but I'll try. So especially if you do, if you are an activist, especially if you are working in these organizations, equanimity is so important, because otherwise your anger against the situation outside is going to your co-workers. And that's really, then doing these difficult jobs becomes even more difficult. And anger doesn't change anything. It looks as if it changes something a little bit sometimes, but it doesn't really, Okay, I think it was who was it? I think somebody in Cambodia. The Khmer Rouge was in Cambodia, wasn't it? So they had a monk. They had a monk who the only teaching he gave, and it had so much effect, was anger never ends through anger. Anger only ends through love. That was the only thing he taught. And he made such a big effect on people. And it's true. Yeah. But then again, we need to know what love is. Love is not just saying yes to everything. That's not love. That's what we think is love, but it's not. Yeah. Love is wanting the other person to be happy no matter what. So I wish you a very happy week, no matter what. May you not encounter too difficult situations so that you can practice patience, but may you encounter some so that you can practice. Yeah. And then next week we discuss a little bit what happened with you looking at your 8 worldly concerns, whether they are really at the root of many things, many problems. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hope to meet you all this weekend with Geshe Damdula on Zoom.
What's that?
Dependent origination.
I didn't understand, Leora. Can you repeat?
I hope to meet you all this weekend, Friday, Saturday, with Geshe Damdula on Zoom, Dependent Origination.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Again, this is exactly what you need to hear. Oh, I don't have time. I think, what do I have this weekend? I'll have to check. I'll have to see.
And in Losang, there's no other possibility than only 24 hours a day. So that's it.
Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, only 24 hours a day.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyway, so I'll see if I can join. If not,
Thank you.
maybe I can find it on the later. But as well as I mean, so many things are happening. Also, I have to do a lot of things, but I'm very happy actually. I was stressed at the beginning. Now I see, man, I've never practiced so much Dharma like right now. You know, even as a nun. So it's amazing. We do like the morning practice in the morning with this group. Oh, now we're going to take precepts on full moon and on new moon, you know. Before I only did on the 4 wheel turning days. Now, you know, people requested, they said, can we do full moon, new moon? So tomorrow is new moon. Now the day after tomorrow is new moon. So we'll take precepts. 5:30 in the morning. His Holiness is giving Avalokiteshvara initiation.
Yeah, next week.
29th and 30th also. So many things, you know. So for Dharma practitioners, actually this coronavirus has almost more advantages than disadvantages. Unless you're plunged into financial disaster, then of course it's very difficult. Yeah, but if not, it's great. So we can rejoice. Okay, my dears, hope the weather will cool down a bit. Otherwise, if it doesn't, then just think, what's the use of getting upset about the heat? You cannot bring it down with getting hot about the heat. Okay, take care.
Thank you, Anila.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anila.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Anila.
Bye bye.
Laila Tov.